It's a personal honor for me to introduce him. I am very glad that he's here with us in Berlin, here this morning in the Estrel Hotel. And I'd like to give a very warm welcome to Dr. Matthias Rath. No other organization or person in human history has so advanced the process of freedom from endemic disease as we have. We can be really proud of this. But this success is also a call to action for those powers wishing to maintain the billion-dollar business in disease. Above all, the international pharmaceutical companies and their financiers. Using brutal machinations, this branch of the industry is still trying to hold back something which has long been unstoppable: the use of vitamins and other natural therapies for the effective prevention and treatment without side effects of cardiovascular disease, cancer, and other endemic diseases. The last stage of resistance of the pharmaceutical industry, which is trying to maintain its billion-dollar world market in ever more superfluous pharmaceutical products, is to make personal attacks on the pioneers of vitamin research and cellular medicine and attempt to discredit them. A good example is the campaign which the pharmaceutical cartel has carried out in the run-up to this meeting in various media. But such a personal attack is really a desperate step. It's also extremely dangerous because it arouses even more interest in the new epoch and accelerates the demise of the old one. In this way, every inflammatory article written against Dr. Rath is a further nail in the coffin of the pharmaceutical cartel and an outdated type of medicine. One interest unites all of you, all of us. We don't want to be forced back into the blind alley of symptom-oriented pharmaceutical medicine. But let's not deceive ourselves. The pharmaceutical cartel is in it up to the neck. The puppets of the pharmaceutical industry, particularly the chairman of the Codex Group, Rolf Großklaus, are trying every trick in the book to block cellular medicine and vitamin research. If they don't manage it, during the next few years, the triumphant advance of vitamin research and cellular medicine will flatten the pharmaceutical industry's house of cards. This makes it clear why the pharmaceutical cartel is using grotesque lies in its efforts against the success of vitamin research. 3 weeks before the last meeting of the Codex Conference in Berlin in September 1998, the pharmaceutical cartel used its media puppets for worldwide propagation of the lie that vitamin C can apparently cause cancer. The complete opposite is true, of course. Vitamin C protects the genetic substance and prevents cancer. This has been clearly demonstrated on many occasions in studies undertaken by Professor Ames at the University of Berkeley in California, and by others. This also explains, of course, why 3 years after the pharmaceutical industry's hoax story that vitamin C causes cancer, there's still no scientific proof of this misinformation. The most obvious trick of the cartel is the term consumer protection. Thus, the Codex conferences are held in the Federal Office of Consumer Health Protection in Berlin-Marienfeld. The following facts show just how hypocritical this term is. No one has ever died of an overdose of vitamin C. On the other hand, over 500,000 people die every year worldwide from the well-known, hazardous and foreseeable side effects of pharmaceutical products. This outrageous fact doesn't appear to worry the Codex Commission or the so-called Federal Office of Consumer Health Protection. We appeal to next week's pharmaceutical cartel puppet at the Codex meeting. Chancellor Schröder, we, the inhabitants of this earth, don't need to be protected from vitamins and natural healing methods. We need laws to protect us from pharmaceutical products which make us ill. Rolf Groß-Klaus is nothing other than a bureaucrat, a servile dwarf who has to serve the interests of the pharmaceutical cartel under the auspices of the Codex Commission. On the 17th of March this year, Groß-Klaus started a counteroffensive on behalf of his employer, the pharmaceutical cartel, against our information campaign. Such was the pressure he was under. Using the title Information about Dr. Matthias Rath's federal campaign, Groß-Klaus published one lie after another. On the internet, he declared vitamin overdose can damage your health. My reply to him is, Rolf, you are lying. Nobody has ever died from the side effects of vitamins. On the other hand, the side effects of pharmaceutical products have become the fourth most frequent cause of death. Mr. Groß-Klaus asserts further, there's no scientific proof of the efficacy of vitamin preparations against heart attack and stroke. I say, Mr. Groß-Klaus, take a look around the room here. We have even documented the natural disappearance of arterial calcification in computer tomography. The medical library of the Internet, Webline, now documents several thousand studies and investigations, which confirm the significance of vitamins, just in the prevention and therapy of heart attack and stroke. Mr. Groß-Klaus made a further erroneous statement, and I quote, some sections of the population already have an intake of 240 milligrams of vitamin C in the normal German diet. Mr. Groß-Klaus, you are deliberately misleading people. Why don't you say that this proportion of the population is less than 5%? And that the average daily vitamin C intake is not 240 milligrams, but less than 60 milligrams. Finally, Mr. Groß-Klaus disseminates the following information in his press release, which bears the official heading of his federal agency, and I quote, there is a risk of kidney stones forming with an additional intake of 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, end of quote. My response to this is, Mr. Groß-Klaus, this is also a lie, and what a lie. 2 extensive studies undertaken at Harvard University prove the exact opposite. In 87,000 women and 45,000 men, there was no evidence of any increased risk of kidney stones through nutritional supplements of vitamin C. Such calculated brainwashing of the population by a federal agency should not go unpunished. I've filed a charge of physical injury and other offences against Groß-Klaus. And his accomplices at the public prosecutor's office in Berlin. The situation is made more serious by the fact that Mr. Groß-Klaus is financing his activities from the executive floor of a federal agency. I say here and now, Rolf Groß-Klaus, you're a confirmed liar. Worse still, your lies endanger the health of millions of federal citizens and hundreds of millions of people throughout the world. I demand your resignation.
Treten Sie zurück.